July of 2024, we took a trip to the Olympic Peninsula with my brother, his wife, and their 2 kids. We flew to Seattle out of Nashville, ready to explore the national parks and the Puget Sound region. On our first full day, we visited Mount Rainier National Park, and we started out slow with part of the Natchez Peak Loop Trail, where we saw clear blue water at Tipsoo Lake and even some snow.
I think that needs NCT. And there's places that the snow stays all year long.
After a good lunch and a rest, we packed up and headed over to Glacier Basin. This was a roughly 8-mile hike that took us 2 to 3 hours to complete. It had epic views and plenty of walking sticks for the kids. Once we got to the vista, we split up. Our family went back down the mountain and we continued to walk along the basin right around golden hour. The next day, we went back to Mount Rainier, but started at the Paradise entrance. We stopped by the visitor center and checked out the view of Mount Rainier standing above Myrtle Falls. At this point, we split up again. The fam went down the mountain and we went up to Glacier Vista.
This is steep. We got it.
Where we unexpectedly hiked poleless in the snow.
So yeah, that's Mount Adams.
I'm gonna fall all the way down this mountain.
Why San Francisco was established, the whole reason San Francisco is here.
Did they praise the Lord? Or what did they? And why
I don't think so. I think it's more to honor Admiral Dewey in the Spanish-American War.
So we took Friday to explore the coastline. We first stopped at the Tree of Life. This guy is a trooper, hanging on for dear life as the ground erodes beneath him. We then drove over to Ruby Beach, where parking was insanity, and the views were too.
We drove north that evening with plans to camp at Second Beach, which is just outside the small fishing town of La Push. The hike to our campsite took us through a dense temperate rainforest, typical of the Olympic Peninsula, and then down along a wide sandy beach with views of the towering sea stack formations just offshore. After setting up camp, we explored the area and found tide pools filled with swaying anemones, rocks carpeted with barnacles, and neon green algae. We woke up early the next day to a cool, misty view of the sea stacks and calm waves. Our plan was to meet back up with the family in Olympic National Park to hike the Hurricane Ridge Trail. Since Washington was having unseasonably warm and sunny weather, this one was more challenging than we expected, but the views at the top were definitely worth it. The other day, remember when you walked through the snow? We hiked back down to head to our Airbnb for the night, kids on the shoulders and all.
For our final adventure, we headed to Seattle to check out Pike Place Market, eat some good food, and take a whale watching tour. We saw multiple whales, even a grandmother and her grandbaby.